Hi, welcome to another video from I'm No Guru. This is Kat, and today we're going to try something a little traditional. Roti Jala is a traditional Malaysian pancake. In other words, if you translate it, it means lace pancake. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. You need the mold. If you don't have something like this, what you can do is have a makeshift sort of container where what I've done is I've actually poked 5 holes, which is similar to this, and using a screwdriver, okay, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to sort of make the holes a bit bigger. It's a good idea to actually use maybe like a yogurt carton, maybe to make something that is similar to this, okay? Even here it's quite difficult to find them. They used to be made out of metal, but now maybe because they want to cut costs, so they're just made out of plastic now. So they don't last as long as traditional ones or the old ones. It's taking a bit of time because I don't actually want to tear too big of a hole. Don't exert too much pressure because you don't want, like I said, to tear the thing through. So I'm using a plastic one. Some people, they use a tin container to make the holes, but I think I need something like a sharper instrument if I was to use like a tin can. You can use a tin can if you want as well. So I'm just, the last hole is the middle one. The design and the pattern will probably be different from the one that I have with me. They'll probably be different, but it doesn't matter. What you actually want to is create the lattice design, or what we call the lacy design of the pancake. And here you have it, 5 holes. Now you might have to adjust the size of the holes depending on how thick your batter is. So we're going to try and use these 2 methods. You can actually use a squeegee bottle, but I don't actually happen to have one with me, so we'll just try these 2 instead. Now we have all the ingredients ready. Let's get started with the process. What I like to do is I actually like to sieve everything first, as I normally do. You don't really have to do this, but it's just a habit of mine that I like to sieve things. I'm almost done. It's quite a simple recipe. The ingredients are relatively easy to obtain and not at all expensive. So I'm just going to pour that in like that. And everything's finely sieved. The next stage is to put in the egg. I'll break this open. In goes the egg. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of the butter that I melted. Okay. That's 1 tablespoons. And the remainder, I'll probably use this once I start cooking the lace pancakes, or what we call in our language Roti Jala. Right? Finally, or almost finally, I'll put in the coconut milk, and this is 125 milliliters of coconut milk. I'm going to stir this first before putting in the water. You need maybe about 600 to 700 milliliters of water. We need to estimate this in a way because it really depends on the consistency. You'll see why when I start cooking or start making the actual pancakes. So let's start with 250 milliliters first. I'm just going to pour this in. I'm going to add another 250 milliliters. I'm going to stop there because I don't want it to be too watery, nor do I want it to be thick. Now you need to make sure that this batter is not lumpy. You want a batter, not a dough, obviously, because even with traditional pancakes, not traditional like Western types of pancakes, this is a batter and not a dough. As you can see, it's quite lumpy, so that means that there's not enough water inside it. And the turmeric that I put in has turned this batter into a light yellow color. You can put more than what I put in just now, but I don't really like mine to be too yellow. In fact, you can put any other type of coloring in, but the traditional one is to actually use turmeric. Okay, it's lumpy. I don't want that. So I'm going to put in another 125, maybe about half of this. And see whether it gets smoother. You can, if you want to go extra fast, just bung it in the blender. Consistency is supposed to be runny. This is not. Okay, so there'll be a problem for it to go through the mold, which I will show you later. I'm just going to add in first half of water there. Now this is much better. And if you can see, there's no more lumps, or at least hardly any. I just have to keep stirring. Now you really need, it's very important to get it to a fine consistency, the batter. So if it's still a bit lumpy, another thing that you can do is to use the blender. And this is, just run it through the blender quickly. Just to make sure that it gets rid of any last bits of lumps. I'm waiting for the frying pan to heat up. I have ready a plate. And remember the butter that I had left over, I'll be using this to oil the pan, as well as containers or bowls where the molds will be. Right? Okay, I'm just going to quickly oil the pan. Remember the heat has to be low. And I'm just going to scoop up a mixture and test it. Okay, the first one will probably not come out very well. You start off with circular motions, and it's actually not supposed to drip, but as you can see, it's dripping. Don't worry too much because this is the first pancake that you're making, so maybe the batter is not quite runny and smooth. Okay. So once you get something like this going, using the pastry brush, just quickly tap a bit of the butter on it, and and it should turn a yellow color. Now there are different ways to fold the pancakes. One of the first way is to actually, fold it in half, and then like so. Okay. So you get that kind of design on it. Now let's do another one with my makeshift mold. Again, the same method. I just scoop it up, place it here, and quickly. It's not as nice as the traditional one, but it does create the same sort of pattern. Once you fold it, it should still have that lattice sort of design. You don't want your pancakes to go brown, you just want it to be this sort of yellow color. And again, you fold it. So don't leave it too long, and make sure that the fire is not so high. Okay. This is another one. Now that the Roti Jala has been made, let's taste them. There are a few ways that you can eat them. The first way is the most popular method, which is to actually have it with curry. Now, you can have it with your own homemade curry or one that comes from the can. The other method is to actually have it with a bit of sugar. The last method is to just have it plain, like some people would. Let's try it with the curry first. Yep. I like how it's turned out. And it's good. We usually eat with our hands, so this is how we eat it. I'm also going to try it with the sugar. I normally have it with the curry, but it's just as good to have it with the sugar as well, if you prefer something that is sweet rather than savory. I hope you enjoyed this video, and till the next video, please click like, share and subscribe. Bye.